Okay, so welcome to Doodle Warrior Doodle Warrior Boot Camp. I want to introduce myself to start with. My name is Cindy Bayless, and I've been trying to work on myself for most of my life, trying to fix all the things wrong with me. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I was for 30 years. And one day my husband came home and said he wanted a divorce. And so that put some things in place that I started really digging deep and trying to figure out what I needed to do in my life next. And as I was working and trying, and I was learning new tools and new things, but I had a really hard time making anything stick. Like, I learned a lot of stuff and I know implementation is the key, but I couldn't make it stick. I couldn't really get to the next level. And when I learned about, when I started implementing the doodles, things started clicking for me and I started making some major changes in my life. And I want to tell everyone about this amazing thing that I've learned about. So let me change cameras and we'll go through this. So the reason that doodling is so good for our brains in creating change is because one, it creates mindfulness. And so just by the act of doing something creative, we begin to remold our brains. There's science out there that says it takes 400 repetitions to create a new synapses in our brain, and that would be a new pathway for us to really start changing. And 400 times is a lot. At least it's a lot for me. When you're doodling, it's 8 to 10. So our amount, the way we can changes faster when we are able to use doodling. The second one is doodling. The way we are implementing doodling, we can create a cognitive, like CBT, cognitive behavior tools. It is a tool in that function. And so cognitive refers to whatever we think or dream, memories we have, images, and what we pay attention to. And behavior is exactly that, what behavior we do. And so the doodling can really begin to change our brains and how we interact with our lives. The next one is we can begin to change we can use compassion to change our brain. And I don't know about any of you, but I've spent a lot of time beating myself up for not being good enough, not being able to change. It is such a kind and loving way that we can change, and we can, because we love ourselves, not because we hate ourselves. The next one is using radical questioning to really ask ourselves the hard questions instead of asking, why me? Why is this happening? Those kind of questions have no good answer, and they don't take us on a path to creating change in our lives that we want. And so we can ask strong, empowering questions like, what's next? What am I good at? Questions that make us stop and really think about what could be possible for us. The next one is the power of creativity, and it can give us the observer perspective. So as we doodle ourselves, we get to look at ourselves from an outside looking in perspective, and we get to really make some change. We get to stop being within our own body, and we get to see how we're interacting with things, and it gives us so much power to be able to get outside of ourselves and really, really see what's next. This is one of my favorite things. We can become a compassionate witness for ourselves. And many of us have had struggles throughout our lives and really never had the compassionate witness, and we can be that for ourselves. And this next one is similar, about that we can have a scientific curiosity about ourselves and wonder why that specific thing is happening, why we're doing that every time, why we react that way. What is happening in our lives that is creating, what is happening in our brain that creates our reactions? So such good information. Number 7 is that we can take ownership for our mental health. And most of us, at least me, was never taught about emotional mental hygiene. I would just deal with whatever came at me and then deal with it. In good or bad ways, I don't really know. I think they were mostly bad. But this is about taking ownership of our mental and emotional health, just like we have to brush our teeth every day. We don't go to the dentist every day. We go to the dentist occasionally to have cleanings, but it's our responsibility to take care of our own mental and emotional hygiene every day. And that's what this does too. Then the last one that I don't have on here is it also unlocks our past. I have made many changes by using doodling to begin to heal from trauma of my past, from different, to be able to look at myself and have a loving compassion for myself as I went through my life. So doodling has so many applications and can change how you're interacting with yourself and in your life. So I wanted to share how come that is so great. But I did skip ahead, which I like to do. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, the link is here in the chat. Please join the Facebook group, and then then use some hashtags so that we can follow you. So if you have an aha, please share that and hashtag it aha. And when you do your homework, hashtag it homework. And if you have questions, hashtag question within the Facebook group, and let's have some interaction there and see what we can do. Many ladies are going to be coming on later and watching the replay. So let's keep the conversation going there. Okay. So if you could get out a piece of paper and we can start doodling right now. So just get out one sheet. If it's copy paper, that's fine. If it's something for coloring on, that's fine too. Apparently I can't think and find my paper at the same time. So this is what I have. I have some multimedia paper because I like to paint it, but it's not required. One of my best, I had a lady sample this for me, and she used paper and a Sharpie like this. And she had great breakthroughs just doing that. So don't get stuck on what kind of stuff you need to use. So what I want you to start by doing is take your paper and fold it in half or cut it in half, whatever you prefer. Because I want to do two things, do something on each side. So we're going to start by creating a doodle of yourself. So this is how I usually do it. And let's stop for a minute again. We're not going to get stuck in being perfectionists and saying we're not good at it, or it doesn't look good enough. We're just doing this to facilitate our brains learning and us being able to see ourselves differently. So make it fun and kind of go back to being a child and learning what it feels like to draw. So my little doodle is just usually a round circle. And I usually do a dress just because it's easier. So a triangle. And then give her some arms and some hair. And on the hair, I have been known to do a bun, or I've been known to do long hair. I usually wear long hair, but a bun is a faster way to do it. So there's my first little doodle. And then do the same, do another one on the other side. So sort of matchy. It doesn't have to be perfect though. There's no perfectionism here. We're just having some fun and doing some doodles. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to do that because I've been doing this a while, so I might be a little faster than you. So in our lives, as we've grown up and as we were children, and even now, we all have labels for ourselves that we believe are all true. So I want you to think about and write down on a separate paper what labels you have for yourself, what you believe is true for you about yourself. And I'd like you to make 2 columns. So make one column, what is maybe a positive label and what is a negative label. And so let's start by making those a list of all of those things that are about you. So on this one, I'm going to write negative labels. So I will share, so some of my negative labels are so negative. They can be things like I can't do, and then fill in the blank. So a lot of things you already believe you can't do something. So what is that going to be for you? I used to think I couldn't, I think I can't do a lot of things. But even for speaking in public was not an option for me. And now here I am doing this. But at the time, speaking was not something I did. So what is it for you? I'm not smart enough. I'm not, I could never do what mine was. I could never speak. Or another one is, I am too old to start again, or to go back to school, or to start a business, or whatever that might look like for you. Another one could be, I am not I'm filling the blank here, but I'm writing smart enough to learn that. So what are the things for you that might be negative for you? So positive ones for me is I am a problem solver. Which that's something I believe about myself, if I'm good at solving problems. Or I am really good at making cookies. Or another one, you could put, are you good with relationships? You could put, I'm not good with relationships. Or you could put, I am good with relationships. What is it about you that is good and that is that, and what is it that you don't like about yourself, or that you've labeled yourself that keeps you from moving forward? It's been estimated that our brains, let me change this back while you continue to think about the labels you have. But it's been estimated that our brains have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And 95% of those thoughts are unconscious thoughts that run our lives. Our brain is really good at making habits, and that's good. It makes it, once we repeat something so many times, and it starts just handing us that new thought, and it becomes part of us. The problem is many of these thoughts, they became the way we coped with our childhood. And this is no negative for anyone. I'm a mom, and so I get it. But we all learn stuff as children. We learn ways to cope with things, and we learn thoughts that run our lives. And for years I heard that I've heard about that our subconscious runs our mind and runs our lives. And I was like, so I don't get it. I don't get how you solve that. And how you solve that is you look deep into what you start noticing what your thoughts are, and they are the pathway to your unconscious mind. Those recurring thoughts that run your life. So those labels that you have that run your life, they'll keep you stuck every time, because we believe that that's the truth. And this is something I still struggle with, because I start moving forward and then I hit a brick wall again, because that I have a thought, I have a new thought not a new one. I have an old thought that tells me I'm not good enough, that tells me I need to stop and do something different. And I have to freeze and go back and start pulling that thought out and adding a new one in. So what thoughts do you have that are keeping you stuck? I just want to check my email and make sure there's no one else that's trying to get in. Up. Hey, hang on. I'm just going to pause this for just a minute, because I got somebody else trying to get into. Okay, so that's what we want to talk about, is what's keeping us from doing something new. The things that we believe we can and can't do, or we're not good at. And we hold on to those with a tight grasp, because we don't. So like when I was a kid, I had an experience with a mouse, and I am so afraid of mice. I cannot function when there's ones around, and I don't want to fix it. I'm not interested in fixing it. I just want to stay right away from the mice. But my amygdala, the fear part of my brain, is telling me that I should be afraid and run. My sister, on the other hand, she's very strange. She is afraid of pipes and black toilet seats. Like literally afraid of pipes and black toilet seats. She can't go to the bathroom with a black toilet seat. She can't go into a bathroom with their pipe showing. And so we all have stuff like, and some of it, like she's learned how to function around that. But what are the other things? But there are other things within us that keep us from doing other things in our lives, that keep us from moving forward and doing the things that we were put on this earth to do. Oh, wow. So we've got to. All right, welcome, Muriel. Sorry about that. I have everything on auto and I thought it was going out, and sorry about that. Okay, so just to catch you up quickly, we took a piece of paper and we folded it in half. And so do a doodle of you and make it, we're not making it hard. So mine is a circle with a triangle, and I made a little hair. My hair is usually down, but I did a bun. So I folded the paper and I have one of me on each side. And so start there. And so we can start making a doodle of you, and don't let any perfectionism or worried about being right or wrong stop you. Let's just jump in and see what we can do. Okay. So I want you to think about where you want to be in your life, and or who you want to be. Either one. So what do you want? What do you want in your life? And are you there? Are you looking for something new to try to get past the things that are stopping you right now? And what are those things? Those things are normally what thoughts we have that we've created since childhood, that we believe that are true, and we go back to them over and over again. So think about those things. Once your two doodles are done, write positive and negative on one, and then write the labels you have for yourself under each one. So mine says positive, I'm a problem solver and I'm really good at making cookies. And the negative is I could never be a speaker. There's something that I used to believe. I'm too old to start again. Or another one people use a lot is it's too late for me. And I'm not smart enough to learn that. I could never learn fill in the blank. So what things is it for you? Make a personal list of the things for you that you have labeled yourself as. So another one for me is growing up in school, I had a really good friend that could read like the speed of light, and she could type the same way. And I was never as good as her, but and so I always compared myself to that, except for I think in the end, she was just an abnormally fast reader and typer. I tell people my typing speed now, they're like, that's really fast. But my friend could type 100 words a minute without trying. Was it a minute? Is that how I don't remember now. What I think it is, but she could type really fast. But we get stuck in comparisons, and we compare each other. We compare ourselves to other people and decide we're not good enough, or we're not as good as them, so we're not good enough. So really get deep and decide what your positive labels are and what your negative labels are. Okay, so now we're going to get another paper out, and I want you to journal on it. Where you want to be in your life. I know I talked about it briefly, but talk about where you want to be. Who do you want to be and where do you want to be? And why do you want to be there? And I want to give you like 5 minutes to really dig deep and write down about where you want to be in your life and why you want to be there and why it matters. So I'm going to turn on my timer that I have over here, if I know how to use it, because I don't know if I do. Oh, look, I do. And I'll turn on this so you can look at it for a minute too. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. So really in our lives, we have been conditioned to believe that it's all about being happy in life. And so that's what we all want. We want to be happy. We want our children to be happy. We want everyone to be happy, 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 happy. And so, so we look at social media and people show they're happy and we think it's reality. And then you read a book and she gets the perfect guy and she's happy and we're happy. And they lived happily ever after. And we believe that you find the right one and everyone's happy. If you buy this, you're going to be happy. This bottle of whatever it is. And so in the end, we pretend that things are great when inside we're not. And but we look like we're happy on the outside, and so that's all that matters. Now, I don't know, does this resonate with any of you? If it does, just put in the chat yes. But is this something that you can say that this is nice? All right, I'm having to. What do you see? Do you see the whole screen? There we go.
I see your doodle with.
Okay. All right. It was just trying to make the whole screen show up, so I didn't want that to happen. Okay. So we think that all of life is supposed to be happy, and we should be happy all the time. But here's the truth. So maybe we're supposed to feel kind of sad when our kids leave home. Or maybe we should feel some discomfort about going for a big goal. Like we really think it all should be easy. Or maybe we should feel angry because of injustice we saw in the world or next door. Or maybe we should feel sad at the end of a relationship. Or sad at the world events that we know about. Or maybe we should be able to sit with our feelings instead of eating to cover them up. Or grieve the loss of a loved one, a pet or a family member. Or feel anxious when we get up to speak or say something that really matters to us. Or feel awe at the beautiful moments that we see in the world. There's so many other emotions to have besides happy, happy, happy. And I don't know about you, but I do want to feel sad when someone I care about passes or leaves or grows up and does their own thing. And accomplishing new stuff in our life, new things, is scary. And we can't just skip down the road. And that's what I wanted to believe, is for me to do something hard or new, it should be easy, or it shouldn't be scary. But it has to be scary. So life is a balance. Life is full of good and full of bad. And full of happy or sad, I guess I want to say. And when we can understand that, then we can start moving forward instead of just trying to make ourselves happy. And many times we use more pleasant and unpleasant. Yeah. Yes, it's more, it's full of unpleasant and pleasant things. But the problem is since we really want to lean towards being happy, we try to numb our feelings with false pleasures and things like, I don't know if I have that doodle right here close. But we numb ourselves by a lot of times eating sweets or eating, I like chips and salsa. I like the crunch, takes my mind off what I'm worried about. What are some other ones? Overworking is another one for me. Watching Netflix and chill, people talk about doing that, or watching a lot of movies. Whatever takes your mind off, what are you doing to avoid those feelings you don't want to have? Procrastination is another one that I use quite frequently, because I'm like, oh, that job doesn't sound fun at all, or it sounds scary is more like it, or I think it feels hard, and so what do? I procrastinate it. So here it is. So we pretend to be happy, or we get blamey and judgmental of others, or we isolate ourselves. That's another one I've used too. Overworking. This one's about eating sugar, but whatever it is that you, and there's other ones out there. And there's other ones that are considered, sleeping, scrolling on the phone, watching YouTube. Yes. And there's other ones though that also are good for us, like exercise, for example. And there's a lesson I give about the ways that we can create dopamine and all the oxytocin in our bodies, which is fine and good. But the problem is if we don't fix it at the thought level, then even the exercise is just band-aiding it, or whatever it is that is considered to be a good thing for it. For some reason, I can't, like hugging gives you oxytocin, but we can't. But it's just band-aiding the problem, because our thoughts are creating the problem. If this is clear, if this is making sense. There was a kid I knew that was, he was a cross-country runner, and he did fine in high school, and then he left home and had to end up coming back home because he had so much anxiety and depression. And not that this is the only, there are medical reasons you need to get medication for those things, but we can get on top of some things by fixing it at the thought level. And so he was avoiding so hard, and I like that you said can be used as avoidance. Yes, we can use those things that are considered good, and no one's going to complain at us about it because we're out running or whatnot, but we're still avoiding those emotions instead of really hitting them head on. So just thoughts about how you're avoiding, because I've found I avoid many different ways. Even there's so many ways we try to avoid what we don't want to have to feel. So, okay. So you've already written, let's see. Instead of using those activities for distraction, knowing we will return to the issue to problem solve. And I really like that, yes. Because it's good to go for a walk and then come back and problem solve. It's just not good to go for a walk and then not take care of it. So another thing, like having a hard conversation, it's just easy to avoid the conversation altogether, and hopefully it will take care of itself. Which it never does. but it's scary. Most of it is fear-based, is where like, I don't want to have to go and talk about it, so I'm going to dance around it. And the problem is never really resolved. It just continues to fester. Okay. So you wrote down where you want to be. So now the next question is, what is getting in your way? So if you know where you want to be, then what kind of things are getting in your way? And for most people, it comes down to fear. Not always fear. Sometimes it's just like, but it's a lot of fear. So think about what things are getting in your way and write those things. What's getting in your way and what is keeping you from getting what you want? I wanted to, so this girl who was terrified of speaking in public wanted to write a book and become a speaker. So I took a lot of classes and did a lot of things, but I didn't really actually do the implementation to get me to start showing up in front of people. And so I finally signed up with a coach, a book writing coach, and it took me 2.5 years to get my book written. And I had to work my way through a lot of hard stuff that was keeping me stuck. So what is keeping you stuck from getting exactly where you want to be? And not that you have to fix yourself, just if you want to be someplace, why aren't you there? I saw this one thing once and it took me a minute to figure it out. And they were like, it's the difference between if you want to be someplace else, you get up and you move from this chair to this chair. So now I'm there. But it's not really that easy because our brain is between us telling us that other chair is scary. So what's keeping you in the way? What's keeping you from how are you getting in your own way? Why are you not to the next place you want to be? Give me a minute to write and think about that. So we're going to do one more doodle this evening and then we'll it's not doing it. So this is the doodle I want to do now. It's again 1/2 of a sheet. So it's wanting to open, so I got to put my pen on it or something. But so doodle some little hills and where you want to be and where you want to go, or anyway, to one of those things. And what are the things that are getting in your way? On mine, it was, what do I believe about me? And if we believe certain things about us, we really aren't going to move outside of that. It's going to take some work to change our perception of ourselves. We get to be whoever we want. We can be, oh, I wish I had that. I saw a little clip of a woman. It was an ad for her book. Amazing. But she believes she's something that she can change the world, and she acts that way. And you have to act where you want to be before you can be it. So I have to believe something about myself so I can overcome that first hill that's keeping me. I have a habit of hiding. I have a habit of staying in the background instead of stepping up. Another one is worry about what other people think. This is something a lot of us do. We're worried about how other people are going to respond to us or what they're going to think. So this was mine that I did a few months ago. What are yours? And so create some hills and things that you need to overcome in order to get where you want to be. And while you're doing this, I want you to think about, so this little girl starting here, pen. So she's starting here, but as she overcomes each of these hills and valleys, how much stronger will she be when she's here at the top? And so think about how these obstacles make us stronger. Actually, I think I'm gonna. I want to change and have her arms. Oh, we'll do this. There we go. I made her arm a little long, but it's fine. That's what this whole thing about. And we're not worried about perfectionism here. But you see how she overcomes all that and she ends up here and she's overcome a lot and she's become something she never thought she could be. Oh, there, trekking poles, thanks. Yeah. Funny. But that's what I like about this is there's no perfectionism. We're just playing. And that's why our brains change faster, is because it takes 8 to 10 repetitions when you're playing and 200 when you're just trying to learn something. We should be playing a lot more in our lives. Okay, so your homework is going to be to post your pictures if you want on the Facebook page. Muriel, I posted that link to the Facebook page in the chat here. So if you can see it, that's where it's at. And then I'll resend another email out to everyone tonight. See if I can't get it to all go through with the Facebook group. And then people that post in there, I'm going to give prizes. So post and then we'll have some prizes to give out. So I really like seeing what you do and then what you're thinking about. Oh, doesn't show you. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Facebook group. Yeah, I'll include it in the email too, but here's the link as well, but I'll also include it in the email. I have auto emails going out, so I don't know why you guys didn't get them, so I'll have to go back and figure it out again. I haven't really covered it. So here's my suggestion about, so she asks, she's saying that I don't know how to answer these questions when I don't know what I want in the first place. And she said she can watch the replay. And so let's talk about that for just a minute. So I don't think we allow ourselves to dream. And that's part of the positive and negative labels, is we tell ourselves it's too late and we don't have enough time or money or health or whatever we don't have. And it's just, and we give up. So I want you to sit down and really write, like set a timer for 10 minutes and just write all the things that you might possibly dream of doing. If it's really amazing what we can do as we allow ourselves to really dream and dream big. And don't hold yourself back. Like, dream big. I dreamed about doing many things, and I have a book that will be published in the fall. I've gone to Europe twice and Africa once, just in the last few years. Dream big. If you knew who I was before, you would never, it was never on my radar to do those kind of things. I've got a vision board workshop that really is quite fun, and we dream big and we plan big. And many people, I've heard my own children say, I don't want to plan anything because I'm going to be disappointed. And I want to shift that. I want you to say, I'm going to plan big because I can be big. I can do what I want. I can create my own future. So just start writing. If I could do anything I wanted, what would it be? And start writing about it. Write and write and write. And then start pulling out some things that you're like, okay, so where do I want to be? Where do I want to be as a person? Where do I want to be in my relationships? What's next for me? Do I want to change the world? Disappointment is one you put down. Yes. And so we're so afraid of feeling of disappointment that we don't give ourselves any hope for something better. So think about it and let that be your homework. And Gail is coming. So yeah, and we're afraid of failing, except for when we're children. No one is yelling at a toddler who took their first step and fell down or crawled before they walked. Like, we yell and scream and applaud them for that. And if we can take minor brain shifts about, everyone has to learn and it's okay if I don't do it right. And Muriel, before you got on, that's what I said. I saw that. So both of you that got on didn't get on like you should have. And so, but that would have shut me down a while ago. That would have, I was a total failure and I should give up. But that's just how life is. Like, we all make mistakes. We all don't do it right. But what if it's just okay? And what if we treat ourselves with the love and compassion that we would a child? So I do encourage you to go back and look at, I had a bookmark, so I'm not there yet, but look at what doodle therapy does for you and why. It helps you with mindfulness. It helps you with treating yourself with kindness, to be a compassionate witness for yourself, to really understand what life, that it's our job to take care of our mental health. That our brains run on 95% thoughts that have been there for years and just keep recycling. And that's what makes us who we are. And we can change that, but it takes some work. It takes a lot of work, and we look for other people around us that just agree with us so that we don't have to do the work. But there are ways we can change some of our thoughts, especially the thoughts about ourselves, what labels we've stuck all over ourselves and that we believe are true because somebody once said it, or the boy in school said it, or your mom said something, or whatever happened, we have internalized things and made them be who we are. So create that list of all the labels that are stuck and all over you, and even go as far as writing all over your girl, making labels on her. Put those labels on her and see how much it blocks you from doing anything different because you think it's you. What would you be? What would you be without the labels? Without your labels, who would you be? We like to think we're loud, or we're quiet, or we're introverts. We as a race, as a human race, love labels, and we like to label ourselves and everyone else around us. But what if we allowed ourselves to be something different? The question is, so I signed up late. Can you share how many meetings we'll be having, or is there a webpage I can go read and learn more about what I got myself into? I'll give you the link to that. We plan on meeting 3 days this week. So today, tomorrow, and the next day. And I realize it's a lot. And so if you can't show up, you can show up for the replays and they'll be available. This is life-changing information I want people to know about. So let me find that link really quickly. And I would love to hear on the Facebook group any kind of feedback you have or something you'd like to talk about. Thanks, Kara. Oh, I thought I sent it. So there's the link to the group, to the Facebook group. No, that one it was not. That is the link to the landing page. So it should tell you everything you want to know about about this. Let me find my way. I go and then I can't find my way back. So let me talk to you briefly too about going to the next link I put up there, and it will show you what Doodle Therapy University entails, and I'll talk about it more tomorrow. But it's really about helping you change how you interact with your emotions and how you create your own emotions. So we create emotions with our thoughts, and if we can start getting to the root of it, we can definitely begin to change things. My life is completely different than it was before, and that was because I've worked so hard at it, and it's hard work. But the doodling is fun. The doodling is fun, and doing this every day has definitely changed my life, and it can change your life too, if that's what you want. So if you want to be in a different place, or you want to dream a bit, come dream with me and let's go. So That's the Doodle Therapy University. It's $4.97 for the years, or $49 a month. And I have, if you pay for the year, we have a box of doodling supplies that I send out to you. So go check it out, see what you think. Come tomorrow because we have more doodles to do, and we're going to make a little book. The Facebook group is just for the people in this class. So that's what it's for, is so we can have some interaction. When people get a little vulnerable, because it's scary out there, but if you can start sharing a little bit, you can really make some difference in your life. So no, it's there. And this has been a small group who signed up. I think there's like, I opened it up to last Doodle Therapy, so maybe there might be 20 people in it, the most, I think. But everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is feeling the same things. Everyone's been in the same place. That's our problem right now, is we believe that everyone else is happy but us. We think that we're the only ones with the problems. The only problems with our spouse, with our children, with our job, with ourself and our body, whatever the problems are, everyone has them. I'm coaching someone, and she knows that I'm sharing this. If I'm coaching someone that I would have never guessed had the problems she has, and she has the same problems as me. I mean, people have different names, but we all have the same problems. And this is not a cure-all, but it is I can feel better in my life, and I can quit fighting. I can quit fighting the truth and quit trying to be happy all the time. So does anyone have any questions or they would like, or something that they would like to talk about? Okay, also in the Facebook group, the last Doodle Therapy class, I uploaded some papers to fill out, and you're welcome to go find those and download them and answer the questions while you're there too. They were just some other ones that I didn't really use tonight, but there also have some good questions on it that you can think about. So. All right, well, I am going to end this, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. It's the same link, but I plan on sending out the links again. Hopefully they work better, but it'll be exactly the same link as you already used tonight. So bookmark it if you have to. So anyway, thank you. See you